to GHK Radio Season 3 episode. Is it 5?
It is 5.
I never know coming into this. I'm always just like, hey, we're back, and I forgot.
Professional.
But Harune, it's the name of the Discord.
Oh, you're right.
It is.
I never checked the name. Is that
Why do I bother
bad of me?
updating it?
No,
Why
I always
check
check it
it.
for the date. I check it for the date, but never the number.
Oh my
The
god.
day the
Professional
Messiah-
podcasters, by the way. We've
I
only been
know.
doing
You
this
you
for
have to read what episode number it is to even get to the date.
2.5 seasons. She's skimmed. She's a
I
skimmer. Serial
skim
skimmer.
over it.
Harune.
Like
Oh
everything
my
else
God.
I ever say to her,
That's
she only
not
listens
true.
to what
That's
matters to
that's
her.
not true. That's not true at all. In fact, I pride myself on like thoroughly reading people's messages, but it's almost to the point where like if it's a message that involves what I deem to be a thoughtful answer and I am otherwise distracted in that moment, I will have to put them on read. Like I'll have to just leave that message alone until I can find a time where, oh my god, DM, where'd you disappear
What?
to? Oh, there you are.
Oh.
Until I find a time to like answer it thoroughly. And so some people just see that and they're like, oh, she left me on red. Like she must be annoyed at me. Or I'll completely forget because I was in the middle of doing something else and then I never end up responding. So Kai's upset.
No, I'm fine.
And DM is festive. Look at this.
Yeah, it's the Christmas cat.
It's the
so
Crimbuses.
cute. I love it.
Thank you. I was spending time last night and I was just like, you know what? I had made a pumpkin spice version of DM for like October.
Oh, did you
And I
really?
was like, oh, Christmas. Yeah. Yeah. I only used it like once or twice because I forgot that VTube Studio can do this.
That's
For
fair.
a bit of
That's
time.
fair.
Yeah.
I might have to experiment too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I feel like I irrevocably like ruined something, but I'm willing
Oh,
to
it
try.
won't. It's temporary. It's all temporary.
It's a toggle.
yeah,
you
it's a
turn it.
toggle.
You can just turn it off. Any
Mhm.
changes?
The only
you
thing
make.
is, it's really easy to forget to hit the OK button and then accidentally click out, and then it doesn't save the colors.
No.
So that's the only thing is you have to, after you change a couple things, you need to like stop and hit OK and then continue on.
Okay, that's fair.
Mhm.
That's fair. That's
Mhm.
fair. Well, Kai, you want to care to explain your hat?
Yeah.
I am moving. I'm literally in the middle of moving. I had to.
Well, yeah, you are moving. You're a VTuber. Like your model moves. You're not-
Yes. No, but I meant I'm moving house. I'm moving to my own place.
Wow.
Literally
Wow.
putting things down to sit down to record, and I'm going back to moving right after this.
Poggers.
Incredible.
Actually, I have to like. I left the computer for last just so I could stay for the recording, and
Aw.
I had to push back the schedule by 2 hours, and like convince my parents like, hey, how about we move in the afternoon?
Yeah.
How
How about we don't
in
do
order
this
to, like,
today?
squeeze this in. Exactly. Actually, that wasn't the plan. The plan was I was supposed to move my computer stuff yesterday, so I would have been recording this episode in the new place. But then some things happened, and they're like, "Oh no, we got to move Sunday morning instead." I'm like, "Sunday
Oh.
afternoon sounds good.
Yeah.
Sunday after GHK sounds good.
Yeah. How about? Oh, you said morning.
How about no?"
How about my time?
Yeah. So, yeah, I spent like all of yesterday building like furniture, and like today I'm gonna be moving computer stuff right after this, which is why I'm very busy and been missing streams for the past several days. Whoops.
That's
Oopsie
okay though.
doopsies.
This, moving comes first. If you
Whoopsie
keep
doopsie.
holding it off, like you'll never move into your new place.
Mhm.
But
I
Kai,
need
doesn't
to-
that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just need to put more stuff in the new place aside from a beanbag chair and girl DM doll.
Yeah.
That's all I have there right now.
Girl DM doll.
Gotta bring all the furniture and junk.
Sheesh. Do you have a vehicle that has enough room to transport furniture?
That's the other fun thing.
That's
Hey,
what I
remember
thought.
that cryptic tweet I sent out a while ago? That was my car just smoking in the middle of the road.
Oh
Oh no, did you tell your car that's kind of a terrible habit to have?
no. Uh-oh.
Yes. See, I
Oh.
was driving and we just came across like a construction site. So like when we stopped at the red light, there was like a big cloud just like wafting around the car, and I thought, wow, we kicked up a lot of dust. What a like dirty construction site. And then another block down, there was still a really big cloud. I'm like, oh, that's smoke.
Did you run out of coolant?
It turns out basically every pipe in the hood just like burst at the same time.
Oh my god, was it from exertion?
I have no idea, but it was
Weird.
leaking all kinds of things.
Weird.
All like engine oils, all the coolants, everything.
So it just decided no.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So your car's in the shop?
We brought it back, but even with all the fixes and stuff, it's been it's chugging. It is.
Ooh,
That's why we can only move things a bit at a time.
Okay. I was gonna also suggest maybe you could rent a vehicle.
Yeah, rented like a U-Haul pickup truck.
Yeah.
That was an
yeah.
idea I suggested, but then after seeing the credit card bill involved with moving, I very quickly pulled back that suggestion.
Oh no. Do you have any local people who have cars that you could be like, yo, I'll buy you pizza and beer?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't. Given where I live, a lot of my friends don't even drive. They don't even like, despite not even owning a car. They don't have licenses. I'm like one of the few people
they could
here
pilgrim it and just like
Just
carry it on
carry?
their back.
Just
Yeah.
carry.
Come on, are they really your friends if they're not gonna like lug your furniture however long it takes to get by foot to your new place? Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Just get all the VTubers in the city to come trek out and help me move.
Yeah, I think the move would be done like really quickly, and it would also be in the news.
It would absolutely be in the news.
To be honest, that was an idea my parents suggested at one point.
What? Put it on the
They're like-
news?
No, they're like, if we can't put it on the car, my dad was like, we have this little trolley. It's like basically a board of plywood with wheels stuck at the bottom of it.
Oh yes.
Oh,
I'm familiar with that.
And they're
yeah,
like,
we have one of those.
and they're like, well, I mean, the furniture store where we bought like the bed, the mattress is only 3 blocks from the new place.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you could just roll it. They want me to just walk along the sidewalk rolling a mattress for 3 blocks, and I'm like, are you
good?
And I'm just like,
Rolling it down the side of the road like a plow ox.
that's the thing. We'd have to
Oh
roll
my
the
God.
mattress and then go back to roll the bed frame and then go back to roll the kitchen island and then go back to like the trolley's only that big.
Oh my god.
So that was a consideration.
No, it's not.
They
No, it's
honestly
not.
suggested that over renting a truck. They
They
said it's only 3 blocks.
okay, I've noticed this. Wait, can I hang on? Can I No, it wouldn't out loud it would not make any sense, but I have noticed. Now, my only experience really is with Asian families, so it's very possible that, you know, I don't know if white families do this or what, but Asian families love to make suggestions for the youngsters that are just like, you're young, you can manage. And it's like, no, I would like to see you pull this mattress down the street for 3 blocks. Like, do you think that would be like, if you were in that situation, would you be comfortable doing it? But like,
I don't know. As a child of Asian family, I'm gonna say we really don't want to get into this topic. Otherwise, this is gonna become a 2-hour rant cast.
Kai's out here being like, I need to move today. I have to take my computer apart.
it's true. we can't sit here for 2 hours ranting about this as much as we could.
Listen, in the past 3 weeks since we've started the whole process of moving, my dad has picked up his favorite new catchphrase.
Oh, I don't. You're young.
He starts every sentence now with "I'm just saying," but
Oh no.
because he keeps offering these outlandish like suggestions that I'm never gonna accept them. But then he'll get all like pouty if I don't listen to him. So he'll always be like, I mean, I'm just saying, but you don't have to listen to me. But and I'm just like,
How about just
dumb?
Yeah. How about you just not say anything at all? I feel really bad for Nemurenai because throughout my life, she has, in a very similar fashion, like suggested or has just said some just really brain dead stuff. And I have to be like, at some point, I've had to start being kind of mean to her because that's the only way it'll get her to stop talking. And I've had to be like, Mama Renee, if you're gonna say, she'd be like, can I say something? I'll be like, no, just don't talk. And I know it sounds really mean, especially from like someone who's visiting and they're like, oh my God, you can't talk to your mom like that. And I'm like, please, that's the only way. Like, if you allow her to continue speaking, she's just going to say the most outlandish stuff and you're gonna sit there and just like it's just in shock.
The passive aggressiveness of it too. It's always the same 1-2 combo. It always starts with, I'm just saying, and then at the end, it's always like, after he finishes telling me why my idea is dumb and why his idea is better, he'll always go, oh, but what's important is if you like it. What's important is if you're happy with it.
Then just don't say anything.
Well, I mean, if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with my own idea.
It's always the same.
I get it
1,000%,
1,000%, a million bajillion %,
yeah,
a gazillion %.
If I put my foot down, I'm being stubborn. If I listen to him, I'm being a pushover. It's just...
Nope, I get it. Well, no, if you're listening to him and they're like, oh, you're such a good son, but then you're put in the most inconvenient situations that doesn't... If you're like, if we had just done it my way, it would have made so much more sense. But now I am suffering because I decided to listen to you. And now you're yelling at me because I'm not doing it right. Even though your way, it's not right because it was your stupid idea. Like, listen, I could go on.
I feel like you're angrier than I am at this point. Are you okay? You want to talk about it?
No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. This will last for an age. But
Kai, at the start of this, we can't talk on this or else we're going to go for hours. Kai and Harune proceed to
talk about this for
a heartfelt bonding conversation for the next 10 minutes while I'm like...
DM's just like, I'm glad I'm not in this kind of dynamic. But I mean, every family comes with their own struggles and frustrations. But we just happen to bond over our similar struggles. Comes with the
Christmas
territory.
Season, yay!
Yay! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Chrysler!
Merry Christmas!
Actually, if we manage with the schedule, we still have one more episode before Christmas.
It's true.
But then, just as a bit of an FYI to the listeners, there's going to be a bit of a break for Christmas and New Year's. We won't be able to meet for recordings while we're all seeing family and friends and etc.
It's just how the holidays fell this year.
This being episode 5, we should be able to squeeze episode 6 before the holidays.
Yes.
But then episode 7 won't be recorded until after the new year. Yes, we'll see each other in 2023 for episode 7. So, whenever this episode finishes editing and comes out to listen, do not be surprised if there's a bit of a gap between, somewhere between 5, 6, and 7.
Yes, I'm gonna...
If you are surprised, please make a comment and complain about it.
Yeah,
we won't do anything, but it'll put a lot of engagement
on the video. It'll be amusing. We like to see it. Have you guys read the comments from the previous episodes?
I have.
They actually, make me... I'm real jazzed to see comments.
Yeah.
They really, even if it's just about, it's nothing complimentary, which, that's not what I'm looking for. But even any sort of engagement at all, just, I don't know.
I think
it makes me happy.
I think the one that stood out to me most wasn't actually a comment. I received a random Twitter DM one day.
Okay.
Just somebody saying, I also don't like tomato soup. And I'm just like, I had no idea what they were on about. It turns out they had just listened to an episode, maybe 4 weeks old, and felt they needed to share with me via DMs that they also didn't like tomato soup because apparently
great.
I made an offhand remark. And
yes,
then,
you did.
And then you got mad at me about not knowing how good tomato soup was.
DM and I.
That's what this is about.
Because you thought it was tomato sitting in broth, and it's actually a tomato puree. No, oh my god. I don't want to talk about this again because I will end you in that.
Okay, then talk about your new topic then for the week.
Oh, do you want me to go first?
We'll fight about this over Christmas.
I was going to have you go first because we were talking about the movie.
First.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I guess I haven't really gone first lately. That's true. I'm always like, everyone else go first? Okay, I'll go first.
It's bookends. We'll go back to my move at the end.
Okay.
Oh, good.
All right. Alrighty. So my topic for this week, completely unresearched.
Wow.
Because of a couple of things that have happened recently. One, I just finished. So I don't own God of War Ragnarok. My friend had purchased it, and I was really hoping that we'd be able to get together frequently so that I could watch them play. But our schedules were just too mismatched, and I didn't want them to just like sit and wait for me forever. So I just gave them the green light to go ahead and play without me. So I just recently finished watching an entire playthrough, like on YouTube, just someone silently recording. And without saying anything about the plot or anything, it's just such a beautiful game. I'm so thrilled that the story is just as rich as the first game, maybe even a little bit more. Anthony Birch, if you guys don't know, who's the DM for one of my favorite podcasts ever, Dungeons and Daddies, which is not a BDSM podcast. It is a Dungeons and Dragons podcast. But
the fact that you had to clarify that, I feel
they
they
clarify it. No one's actually asked me. Although people have been like, sorry, what was that title? I'm to be like, listen. I listen. It's not my fault. People make questionable podcast titles for the clicks. They have to know that that's the case.
Well, it's kind of there's the group. So Canadian music. There's a group called Bare Naked Ladies.
Yes, I'm familiar with that band.
Yeah, do you know what the band name they wanted to have before it? Bare Naked Ladies was?
No.
Free beer, but bars wouldn't let them play.
Ah.
Because it was free beer tonight, right? So instead they made their name Bare Naked Ladies for
their
attention.
advertisements, yeah.
Essentially for engagement.
Essentially for clicks. But
Right.
clicks isn't going into the bars that they started off playing at.
Oh, I love that. So I listened to Dungeons and Daddies, and then I also listened to Two Girls, One Ghost, which is another questionable title. But it's great. It's great. So I always feel like I have to clarify. But I'm going off on a tangent here. But Anthony Birch was one of the many writers for that game, and I feel like I can like pick his sense of humor within the game, and it was just so story rich, and I loved it, and all of that good stuff. Beautiful game. Also, HBO just dropped their trailer for The Last of Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, because it's going to be an HBO original, I actually have pretty high hopes for, and so that got me thinking, what was the last game, or what game do you hold very dearly in your heart that's given you like severe feels? Like you've just fallen in love with just the combination of gameplay, graphics, art, story. Like what game do you cherish?
Oh, like
Ooh.
what game like I always think back to, and I'm just like, ooh, yes.
Yes.
I would say
go ahead. Yes.
Transistor.
Oh, that is a good one.
I think DM, did you recommend that game to me?
I have.
Okay,
A lot of
okay.
times people are like, recommend me a game, and I'll be like, Transistor.
That being said, I mean, I never finished Transistor, but I really liked Bastion, the one before it. So,
Yeah. Transistor, it's
wow.
like you're playing as a girl named Red, and it's kind of like a cyber techie kind of future, cyberpunky kind of future. And she's a singer, and she loses her ability to speak. And she's being targeted by an organization who wants to essentially like take her data to use on this program that they're making, because they're trying to make a better world. And she winds up escaping, and a guy that's in love with her, that I think I call him sword boyfriend. But there's this sword that's can like pull people's data essentially, and he gets stabbed by that, and his consciousness is alive in the sword.
Oh, it's like Fi.
So, yeah. And so you're traveling with him and Red, trying to get out of the city essentially.
Oh, that's so cute.
It's very cute, and it's very like exploring like what is humanity kind of questions too, because it's a cyberpunky type of game. But it's got really nice music, and it's just like gameplay and story wise, as it goes nowadays, I think it would be probably more simplistic, maybe, of a concept. But I really like it a lot.
And as long as you like it,
that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
My question was directed towards what you like, so that's perfect. Now, before Kai gets to his answer,
Okay.
DM, would you want to see this game turned into either a movie or a television series?
I
Or an
think
anime?
it would be a good movie. I think I could see it being a good movie. An anime would be like an animated movie would be cool too, because there's a lot of stuff you can do with like fight scenes and stuff.
Yes.
If it was a live action one, it would probably take a lot of budget to make it look good.
I feel like the almost kind of like 3D CG, kind of like Arcane would be a good
I think
fit for it.
Arcane style would
Ooh.
be really fit for it, because the game itself is a more. It's by the same studio that did Hades. Well, not sorry. Yeah, Hades. That's the name.
Yeah, what is
Oh.
it? Supergiant Games?
Supergiant. Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of their early
Nice.
games. So they made Bastion first, and then
I
Transistor
love
was their main
Bastion.
game. And then the one after it was the one with the ball game.
Yeah, they did like a sports
Ooh.
game.
Yeah.
Fury was it? No, I don't know. It was Fury.
I don't
That
know.
sounds
It's not
sick as
Fury.
heck.
I'm trying to remember what it is, but it's essentially people get exiled, and you have to like make a team and play this sports game thing in front of the judges, and if you win the games, you can go back to the nice city place.
Pyre. Pyre.
Pyre. Yes, Pyre. That's it.
I love
I
that
haven't
Kai
beaten
just
that one.
fills in the details a little bit.
Because I also really, really liked Bastion, the first game. I own Transistor, and I got partway through it. I just never had the time to finish it.
Oh no.
But I've never played Fire. But I mean, out of the 4 games that Supergiant Games put out, like I quite like 3 of them. So
Kai, you should play. You should play Transistor, because it's a 4-hour game.
I really should finish it. I think I got like an hour and a half into it,
Yeah,
and then
you
it was
you
like
do
while I
Final
was in.
Fantasy raids that take longer than playing Transistor, my dude.
That is true. But I played Transistor when I was in university, and it was like right before exams or something. So I just kind of put it down and never
yeah.
picked it back up. But
Kai-
I mean, I still own the game, so I
Try
should get
try
back
again, try again.
Yeah, after you finish moving, your first stream back should be Transistor.
There you go,
Absolutely
perfect.
not.
Why
we
not?
have chosen for Kai. He's going to play Transistor
Yeah,
when he
why
gets
not?
back from moving.
I will play it on stream. Sure, I'll play it on stream. I just I still have house tour stream to do.
Oh,
It would-
Nope. First stream back is Transistor. Want to know why, Kai?
Why?
After you get all your stuff in, you're going to be too tired to actually
organize and situate.
organize and have everything look nice for you to do a walkthrough stream.
You know, first stream back is tomorrow, right? Like I'm moving tonight. My
That's
first
what
stream
you
is
think.
literally tomorrow night.
That's what you think.
Having recently moved house herself, maybe DM is an authority on the subject. But
I
we'll
mean,
see. It's
all-
all up to how you feel at the end of the day.
I mean, I do need to have the computer set up by tonight so I can get to work tomorrow, but you know. So
That's what
I
you
will
think.
be stream ready by tomorrow.
And before Kai accidentally.
Please don't say it. Please, whatever you're about to say, it sounds like it's going to cost me money, and I can't.
No, Kai accidentally forgets something important.
I mean, I live 25 minutes away from my parents' place, so I can just go back to get it. It's not that big of a deal.
That's what you think.
Listen,
Listen, my move is not as significant as yours. You moved a much greater distance than I did.
That's what you think. So,
Listen-
Kai, what game do you like?
yeah. We could also go on a rant about this for another hour.
Well, I mean, I did talk about Bastion just a bit ago, but I mean, why don't we go for a game that really... I don't know, because I played quite a few games, and they all kind of hold like a special place with me for one reason or another.
May I take a guess?
You may, but when I don't really know my answer, I'm not sure what.
No,
your
that's
answer.
fair. That's fair.
Okay, go ahead.
And maybe it's because I saw your playthrough. Like I attended those streams pretty regularly. I would guess that you would probably pick Nier Automata.
It was one of the options I was thinking. Yes, in that Nier
is near and dear to your heart, Bruce.
it
Thanks,
really
DM.
draws me back to it because of the way they really took advantage of the fact that it was a video game.
Mm.
A lot of the storytelling elements came with how they treated the video game, like going through different genres. For those that don't know, Nier, like you're playing like a third person action combat game, and then suddenly it will switch to like a top down perspective, and then suddenly it will like change to like a horizontal side scroller perspective. Like they really played with the idea of it being a video game, which is why the story itself is great. I do like enjoy the story, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite game story.
Okay.
It's the favorite way they tell a story through a video game.
I see. Okay.
But so yeah, it's like it's kind of like the VGA awards. It's like I've got different categories of favorites.
It's true.
Nier
it's
is
true.
definitely up there. Character story, I want to say Yakuza 0.
Ah, that was a good one. I
yeah,
really liked Yakuza 0. Yeah.
Man, I went the distance and got a really nice art piece of
Yes,
me
you
with Majima
did.
because of
Yes,
Yakuza
you
0.
did.
Majima is a handsome man.
I'm not going to purport to be a long-time Yakuza fan. I'm not one of those that have played all 7 games or whatever.
Yeah.
Realistically, I've finished 2, and I'm on my 3rd game. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, because you did Dragon.
True and Blue. Exactly. I did 0, and then I did 7, and I'm halfway through 1. So, I'm playing it
Yeah.
completely out of order. And, like, real-time, like, RGG fans are probably going to be like, what a poser. But as a standalone story, and as an introduction to the character of Kiryu Kazuma, but more importantly, Goro Majima, that it set the bar really high for video game stories.
Yeah.
It is a really good story. It
really is like.
And I'm glad that I got to watch you play it, Kai, and I didn't have to play it myself.
I would still say play it yourself if you get the chance. It's so good.
Oh, I'm sure. And I even started playing 1. And I haven't touched that in a while, and that's my bad. But I mean, I know I mentioned this a couple times before, but like before I was streaming and playing my own games, I was much more of an avid watcher.
Right.
So, like, that's how I consumed all
You're
of
the
my
target audience for Let's Plays.
Exactly. No, definitely me. Where it's like, well, I can't afford these game systems or these games, but I love these games for the story. Like, that's how I got a majority of my my Legend of Zelda, like, love. I never played any of those games myself until Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But I love the game and I love the concept and stuff because of Let's Plays. Sorry. So there are probably plenty of people who are like, fake fan, you poser. But
just the character, the character of Majima is just so well done.
So the thing is, when it started out, I was like, I don't trust this guy. I don't really like him that much.
Majima?
And then Majima, at the start of it, like, I did not like him. I was like, he kind of weird, he kind of slimy. I can't trust him. He's just scary. Like, I don't want to be in any area near this man, kind of thing. But then by the end of Yakuza 0, I was just like, oh,
I think I cried.
I feel like the impact would have been better because he was introduced as like Yakuza 1 Majima, like the already off-kilter Majima, and then going back to 0 Majima. Like, I feel like that would have a greater impact for fans that actually played it in the proper order.
That's true.
But seeing as we started with 0, he was still a very well done character.
I don't know. I think it still makes an impact for me, at least, because I'm playing Kiwami right now, which is Yakuza 1, and seeing. It just kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, when you see him popping out of trash cans.
Well, like, because essentially, like, I don't know. It just kind of illustrates more how much he's lost. I feel like.
I feel like him acting the way he does in Kiwami, though, is him like making his own choices. He's trying to emulate. He's trying to emulate a persona where he isn't tied down by others' orders anymore, is how I see it.
I think that's part of it. Like, he has that persona so that he's able to work around when he gets orders that he doesn't agree with, because he's still in that family. He's trapped in that family. There's no way for him to get out. That was kind of the realization that he has previously, right? So for me, it's just kind of sad, because a lot of people that were people in my chat were like, I think you're reading too far into this, blah blah blah, and I was just like, I don't think I am, because of how he acts.
I mean, I think that's just a level of depth that isn't often explored, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong or anything. I think you're just seeing further than most.
Yeah.
Like, I could get that now that you've mentioned it. I see that. Kai, would you be okay or even encourage it in some sort of visual media, movie, anime, live action?
There's a stage play.
Show?
There's a stage play.
Is there a stage play?
There's a Yakuza stage play.
What?
There's also a Yakuza movie that's already it's quite old, actually.
Is it
I've
live
invited
action?
you to watch it. It's a live action. I've invited you to watch with me.
I don't recall.
And
I'm sorry.
you just said nah.
Was this before Zero?
This was after Zero. This was when you were playing Kiwami, because it's a movie adaptation of Kiwami.
Wait, Kai.
I don't remember this.
In the stage play, do you know who plays Nishikiyama?
No, I don't know. I know there is a stage play. I don't know
they're
much about it.
handsome. Shoot.
No, this is Gaku-sano. Do you know who Gaku-sano is?
The name sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar.
Kamen Rider Gaim.
Is it?
This is Gaim. Oh my god. I need to.
Gaim plays Nishiki.
Oh my god.
Okay,
so
me and
unfortunate.
DM gotta organize a watch along for the stage play. Yo, do you want to watch the Kiwami movie though?
You asking me?
That would be interesting after I finish Kiwami the game. Because otherwise I'm pretty sure it would spoil me.
The really funny thing though that I know, I haven't seen the movie itself yet because I was waiting for someone to watch with. The funny thing from what I remember was that the actor who played Goro Majima has eye problems, so he does need to wear an eye patch.
Oh no!
On the opposite eye.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So it's like he's like mirrored in the movie or whatever. It's just like I remember that pretty interesting bit of trivia that they did need to put an eye patch on him, but it was he had to have it on the other eye, otherwise he couldn't see.
That is wild.
That's very entertaining.
So let's pretend that a movie and a stage play doesn't already exist.
Okay.
Would you wish it in any other
know-
form?
No.
Or are you happy with its current existence?
I'm quite happy with its current existence because the way a lot of the scenarios play out, it's very cartoony. But seeing it as an anime, I feel like it would be overly cheesy. I feel like the medium of it being a video game with like its little weird pauses, its little kind of like loadings and all that, like it feels right. Seeing it as like an actual show where they have to emulate that on purpose and like all of the very dynamic actions of Goro Majima, I feel like they'd be over cheesing it. Like the fact that it's a video game, the models move a little jankily, I think that adds to it.
It's true, yeah, that's part of its charm.
Exactly. So I would say I'm happy with how it is. I prefer it as a video game. Though I will very much laugh at the movie if you guys want to join me. And the stage
that
play.
would, yeah, that'd be something that we'd have to do. I would be interested in watching some sort of, I guess, more modern or more recent adaptation of it, done in a style like Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh yeah.
Right. The movie version for Kiwami came out in 2007, so it's a little bit dated.
Yeah. I'd be curious to see, especially with like how film has changed over the decade. Something in that style where it's like I guess you could not argue, but if you wanted to see Everything Everywhere All at Once as some form of strange video game, like, I could see that. And it is goofy in its combat.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if they were to make it into a movie, that would probably a more modern movie. I could see that being the direction that they take. But I think you're right. I think if it were an anime, then it would kind of lose some of its lifelike silliness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the game style, like you said, the weird pausing, the weird like ways the model moves really adds to it.
Like one of the really popular scenes that gets memed a lot is when Kiryu is entering an office of like an enemy, like an enemy group or whatever, and it's like a Yakuza office. They're all standing in the office. One guy's guarding the door. He like just kicks the door in, and the guy ragdolls across the room. It's like that's the kind of stuff you'd get in video games. If you tried to do that in live action or like anime, it won't have the same effect.
Then they really took full advantage of like what they could get away with in a video game.
Yeah, kind of. Which I guess is the same thing I said for Nier.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
If I could just have one more minute to bring up 2 honorable mentions for favorites.
Sure. Yes.
Yes, I'll be very, very brief about it.
That's okay.
But when I think video game, like when I think like memorable games for me, there are 2 other ones where it's not so much the game, but a game that captures my favorite aesthetic, like 100%, was Freedom Wars on the PlayStation Vita. And it's basically
it's the animal people, right?
No. Freedom Wars is set far in the future where basically the world's resources are dried up. There's like very little of everything left. And so the whole goal is to be a productive member of society, to work for what you have to earn the right to live. Meaning anyone that is born, babies are not productive. So being born means you're a waste of resources. So everyone is born a sinner. So the entire world is divided into a whole bunch of super prisons, and everyone gets a 1 million year life sentence the moment they are born.
Wait,
and
what?
You have to contribute to society to work off your sentence, to show that you're worth the resources of keeping alive, basically.
Oh my god. Okay.
And the way to prove that you're useful to your society, your prison, is to get more resources. But the only other places that there are resources is other prisons. So essentially, it's all these super prisons basically fighting each other, stealing each other's resources. And the more you get from everyone else, the more useful you are to your society. But it's like kind of futuristic, and they unearth all these like ancient robot artifacts or whatever that they use to like attack other prisons, and the whole aesthetic of it was super unique. And the game was garbage. The game was fine. It was like a Monster Hunter claim, but the ending
I
was
like
garbage.
that quick backpedal. The game was garbage. The game was all right.
The ending was absolutely terrible. It ended on a cliffhanger, and I know for a fact we're never going to get a sequel. But I still love that game very dearly. And
because of the story.
Because of the aesthetic. The story was pretty basic. But the whole setting was really great. And the last thing I really enjoyed was I've mentioned this before, but Fate Grand Order. The mobile game.
Do you have to put it on there just because it's eating your wallet?
The gacha. Well, there's that too. I did spend an absurd amount of money on it, but more so, I enjoy the Fate setting. The gameplay is pretty minimal. The characters are nice and all, but my favorite thing about it was how they kind of pulled an ARG. For those that don't know what an ARG is, it's like an alternate reality game. It's when media kind of bleeds into real life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine if a show had a treasure map, but then it actually points to a real world location. If you go to the real world location, you'll find something related to the show, something like that. That's kind of that kind of setting. I can talk about this because it's been over 2 years ago, so minor spoilers for Fate Grand Order, I guess, for anyone that cares. We're now in Act 2 of Fate Grand Order, but at the end of Act 1, the the big bad threatened to end the world. And they predicted that 2 years ago, and they tied it into the real world calendar, and that the world would end with the year 2020 or 2019, something like that. It's like, and they're like, no one's gonna live to see January 1st of the next year.
Oh.
And their entire website, their entire Twitter account, everything about it started like shutting down days before the end of the year. And you had to like do an in-game event. Everyone had to participate to fight like a giant raid boss. The more you like damage it, the more you recover of their website. They have like a little progress bar actually tracking how.
Oh, that's awesome.
And everyone's kind of doing it, and it's split across like all these different. It's split into like 6 different bosses. The boss split himself into 6 pieces, and everyone can only fight one. So like you have to join this one to fight, but then you have to like cheer on the other team to fight their boss, and you have to beat them all within a time limit. And I very much remember grinding out on New Year's Eve on December 30th. I think I killed the boss like 20 times that day. And 11:55 before New Year's, we killed it the last time, and the site unlocked, and basically it did the whole message like, you save the world, you'll get to see the New Year's. And then like 5 minutes later, they like greeted everyone with a Happy New Year's. And it was like that kind of ARG element to it really stuck out to me.
That is delightful. I do like that quite a bit. That shows like a love and a keen interest in like not just putting out something with quality, but like something fun for the fans specifically. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like we made this project, now go, but it's like, hey, you know, it would be cool if we like did this thing that was tied in to something that everybody's already sort of aware of, right?
Right. Like seeing the Twitter account suddenly get locked and then like get taken over by the bad guy, and then like all that little roleplay stuff just adds like, it adds such an like interesting little spin to just basically a money vacuum gotcha game. I mean, I will admit I've spent more than I'm proud of on that game, but
it's like when you take your kids to Christmas Wonderland and the whole place is like decorated and Santa and Mrs. Claus and all the elves are there, right? Like, you know, it's not.
when they
Sorry
went
for
the
anyone
extra
who,
mile.
yeah. Sorry for anyone who still believes in Santa, I guess. But we know that,
How
like,
dare.
we know Santa's not real, but like we play into it, and you know, you can immerse yourself in it, and it becomes like really fun. You take that a step further.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's-
That's great.
It's like you feel like you accomplished something right at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then it's celebrated with like the New Year's celebrations, and it's just like, it was so good.
And it lets people feel like they contributed somehow, you know?
Exactly. Because like you had to watch the progress bar, everyone's contributing. I remember being in a voice call with all these other players, and we're just like, we got. I feel really bad for Barbados, one of the bosses, because it was the easiest one to farm, so it got killed so many more times than everyone else.
You should not.
And it
feel
dropped
bad.
like it dropped like no, like everyone was memeing on Barbados. There was like the community came together, and like some people started like drawing tributes to Barbados, and it was like the guy that got bullied to death at the end of the year. It was just a community getting together for it. It was really fun. But anyways, I've talked on long enough.
Nice.
Harune, aside from the God of War, did you have another example, or was God of War your example?
Well, I mean, I love the story of God of War, but because I never played it, it's up there. Like, it's an incredible game, and I think had I played it, it probably would make top. But in terms of like really enjoyable gameplay where I didn't feel like I was like the story wasn't being taken away by the gameplay, and the story wasn't being overshadowed or anything like that, or vice versa, whatever. I really do like Zero Dawn and currently Forbidden West as well. I just like the Horizon story. I think it's a great take on post-apocalyptic. I love that it's not zombies for the apocalypse.
Robot animals.
Yeah.
It's robots.
It's robots, but I don't know. It just I don't know. It's hard for me to explain to the fullest extent my love for the world, the characters, Aloy herself. I just think is a great character, and yeah, I don't know. I know. What English? Zero Dawn is getting a show, I believe. I think that's been confirmed. I'm glad it's live action. I think in the same way that you've explained earlier, Kai, I think a lot would be lost if it were, or maybe DM said it, but I think a lot would be lost if it were a anime. I think it'd be too over the top.
Yeah.
There's and the whole setting is very like survivalist and like based on sort of the how God, I'm not doing a good job explaining how I feel, but like just how much you have to train and how strong you have to be in both body and mind to just survive, I think would be lost as an anime. It's cool to see people being pushed to their limits as a live action. So I don't remember which studio is doing this. Let me check really quick because now I'm really curious.
I think it's also like the way the aesthetic of it lends very well to live action because I played Zero Dawn.
Yes, you
and
have.
all of the motions they go through seem very human, like shooting a bow, swinging a stick, climbing a mountain. All of that is doable in live action, as opposed to like Yakuza, where you would see people, do air flares, break dancing while they fight and stuff. It's like that seems a lot less human.
Yes.
Or like picking up people by the face and then lifting them a foot in the air. Like it definitely goes into the more cartoonish side of action. So yeah, I feel like some of the jumps, some of the falls in Zero Dawn would not be realistic.
No, yeah, there's a lot, like, I'm sure that would have killed a man, but
overall, their actions don't feel exaggerated, I guess.
Yes, except for, like you said, the falls, some of the jumps, like a lot of the climbing. Aloy is just way too agile. But there are people like that. Like, there are people, professional rock climbers, who, like, don't even use harnesses, and they just climb up these crazy mountainous rock faces, and they just don't give two poops.
And I mean, given the setting of everyone being kind of like hunter-gatherers, like techno-enhanced hunter-gatherers, it's like, yeah, you kind of get it. Whereas somebody in, I don't know, like Roppongi lifting another person up and then throwing them across the street, like, I don't know about that one.
Did I send you that tweet, Kai, of like, I think it was some sort of shopping district in Scotland or whatever?
Yes.
They were just like a couple of like hoodlum people or people who were just like making up a stink, and then a couple of like restaurant workers that were like throwing chairs and like punching and like doing.
And then it had the
kicks.
Yakuza music.
Yeah. It was so
I remember
good.
this.
I wish I could find it. It was a while ago, but that makes me think of that. Like that's Yakuza in real life. But yeah, so apparently the studio involved with doing Zero Dawn as a live action show, it's gonna be through Netflix.
Ooh.
So I don't know how I feel. Netflix originals
we'll have to see how they do.
Yeah. I'm encouraged by The Last of Us being through HBO. I wish I could feel the same way about Zero Dawn through Netflix. I guess I'm just glad it's not through Amazon, because then I'd be a little disappointed, I think. But I kind of wish Zero Dawn would also be through HBO, but I also understand. But now that's two streaming sites competing with putting out a very popular video game as a show. You know what I mean? Like that, you bet your bottom dollar that's going to be a point of contention between the two. But yeah, I don't know. I think my answer is not a surprise.
I really enjoyed Pedro Pascal in The Mandalorian, so
I did too.
Yeah, he did so good.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy who, like, once an actor does a really good job in one thing, I just really look forward to their next work too. Like even if it's completely unrelated to what they were good at.
Well, you know he was in
So-
Game of Thrones, right? That's where a
I
lot
never
of people knew
watched
him
Game of
first.
Thrones, so
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
a-
because he was the
Oberyn.
Ron,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but I never watched Game of Thrones, so my
Mm.
first real exposure to him was in Mandalorian. I know he's done other works.
Yeah.
I never really bother to remember actors' names
Mm.
until I find them in a one role that I really, really liked. So for me,
Mm.
my discovery of Pedro Pascal was through The Mandalorian.
I do
He's
quite
so
like him.
cool.
It
Yeah,
was
he's
so
pretty
good.
dope. And he's
He's-
Chilean.
Yeah, and he's just like he is just a lovely guy.
Watching him in interviews, he is a delight.
Mhm.
Oh, I haven't seen him in interviews. I bet he's cute.
He
Dang.
was in I think a Wired interview
Oh.
with I'm gonna get the name 1 second. The actor who played Moon Knight,
Oh, him.
Yeah.
which would be Oscar Isaac.
Yes.
Yeah, Oscar Isaac is great.
And the Oscar Isaac and Pedro Pascal joint interview where they ask like, "Oh, Google's most searched questions." That one.
Oh, I
It is
bet.
so
Yeah.
charming. It is so the energy they have is just so good.
They're both very charming men. So
And I think the fact that they were very good friends attending that interview together was.
Oh, are they good friends?
They certainly behaved like it in the
Oh.
interview. So
Oh, I love that. Oh no.
Yeah.
I have to watch it.
if nothing else, the interview itself was very, very entertaining.
Great. I love that. That's wonderful. Well, that was my topic. And of course that took us almost to an hour. Sorry.
No, it's good. I'm having fun talking.
Well, yay. I'm glad I found a topic that wasn't done in 20 seconds. Anyway, I am the
Right.
H. So now it is the K.
Oh, is it back to me?
Or are we
Yeah.
or should it be DM?
I can say mine. Mine's gonna be a shorter one.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So I was scrolling through on Reddit because I like to check like mildly interesting and such or cool guides. And there was an an A to Z guide of history's great panics.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So you've probably like heard about some of them. Like there was the laughter epidemic where a whole bunch of people just like
Couldn't stop.
started laughing uncontrollably and couldn't stop.
Yes,
I've never heard of that.
Oh, I have.
Oh, yeah. Well, so there's a couple of interesting ones there. But the one for G, I thought was applicable because girl DM, see,
Ah,
was the Great Moon Hoax
Whoa, what?
in 1835 in the United States.
Uh-huh.
So in 1835, the New York Sun published a series of breathless astronomy discoveries. The reports, purportedly based on views from a brand new, extremely powerful telescope, described a moonscape of crystal-studded jungles populated by unicorns, bat people, and two-legged alien beavers.
oh God.
Readers freaked out
What?
until the 6-part series was over, at which point the newspaper admitted they had made it up.
This sounds very War of the Worlds.
I was just about to
Right?
say.
It sounds a lot like the War of the Worlds radio show, but
Right. That is wild. You could not get away with that today.
the thing is, the radio broadcast for the War of the Worlds
Mhm.
was 1938.
So this
Oh,
was
so that was-
before.
This
Oh.
was in the 1800s. This was like This was
Oh my god.
1835.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Right?
I love crystal-studded jungles and unicorns.
And,
Part of the reason
and
I was like, this is
bipedal
really
beavers.
neat was because like Sailor Moon,
Yes.
you have like Helios and the
Yes.
Crystal Palace and stuff. And I was just like thinking, I was just like, wow.
Yeah, what if it was inspired by that?
I don't know if it was at all, but I just like
That'd
reading
be
through that. I was like,
so funny.
dang.
I love
but
the
it's
bipedal
just-
beavers in Sailor Moon.
Heck yeah.
You know they're there. You just don't like to talk about it.
But it's just like,
That
what
is
the
wild.
heck, right?
That's so good. I love that. So
Yeah.
you said they had people panicked until
People
the
were panicked
6-part
reading
series.
through this. Yep, a 6-part. So that means this newspaper published 6 separate articles
That's almost
about
2
these
months.
discoveries on the moon.
That
Oh, wait.
is-
Wait, would it have been a daily release or a weekly release?
I'm not certain, it doesn't detail out, but it might have been a daily release because they used to do like daily papers.
Okay.
Because that's how everyone got their news, right?
Then that would make way more sense if it were a week-long thing instead of like almost a 2-month-long thing.
I feel like, I feel like you're crossing some sort of line morally if you let this drag on for 2 months.
Yeah.
Right, but isn't that just like...
That is hilarious.
There's a bunch of interesting things. I'll put the graphic into
Oh my God, please
our
do.
chat here so you
Yes.
can look at it later. I just wanted to bring up this one that happened.
This is great. Hang on, take me there. Take me there.
There's one more entertaining one. This is from the 1700s called the Quake Crier. So in England in 1761, on February 8th, there was a minor earthquake in London. On March 8th, so 1 month later, there was another one. So when a local lifeguard began telling people that a third April quake would destroy the city, they believed him and began fleeing the city.
Oh no.
When nothing happened, they slowly returned.
Oh my god. Oh, Phantom Slasher of Taipei.
Oh yeah, that was...
Oh my god. Okay, I gotta read this. After several children came forward with unexplained cuts, police began investigating. Rumors soon flew regarding a phantom slasher armed with razor blades and rampaging around the city. Most of the injuries were eventually chalked up to scrapes and accidents, regular kid stuff. This happened in 1956.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's wild. I'm looking at some of the other ones here. Nun biting.
I just got to cat nun outbreak.
Yep, the cat nun outbreak.
Ouija board panic. That was in 2006. That's recent.
There's even the Dungeons and Dragons panic.
I see that. We gotta look at that.
Well, that one was one that I know about because like my family are enjoyers of Dungeons and Dragons.
I am also an enjoyer of the Dungeons and the Dragons.
I mean,
yeah, but since it involves like witches and magic and fighting demons and such, there were people that believed. Well, there were a couple of people that there were some teens that had removed themselves from living, and they coincidentally also played Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So there was speculation that D&D was causing teenagers to unalive themselves.
Oof. I think there was a really terrible B movie that
there was a really funny. Oh yeah, there's a terrible B movie as well, but there's this really funny sketch that mom and dad DM had shown me because they thought it was hilarious, but let me just find it here. It's just a really funny sketch that if you look up Satan's Game D&D.
Satan's Game.
And it was just like it's an audio sketch told in the style of like a satirical way to be like
this is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep. This
gosh.
This is Dungeons and Dragons, Satan's Game. we listened in on an actual D&D session, and it's just people being like, "Where's the Mountain Dew? Am I getting drunk in the bar?" And if you played D&D, like you're just like sitting there being like, "Yeah, this is how it goes."
Yeah, it's not as demonic as
no,
it's made to seem. Going back to that B movie really quick, because Chilluminati has like a sideshow that they do called Rotten Popcorn, where they watch just like purposefully bad movies. It's because one of the
I thought you meant the B movie, like Jazz Hands, and I'm
no,
what are we on about?
not Jerry Seinfeld B movie. My God, but
you like jazz?
But yeah, they watch really bad / questionable movies just to like, I don't know, have something to meme on and talk about and stuff. And they watched one that was like an early, oh my God, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't remember his name. What is his name? He was in the movie Captain Phillips. He also, oh my God, I think he was Forrest Gump. What's his name?
Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks? Was it Tom Hanks? I think it was Tom Hanks. It was like a young Tom Hanks starred in this movie. I think it was Tom Hanks. But
Tom Hanks was Forrest Gump. I can confirm that.
Well,
much.
yes, but I'm talking about like the terrible
Good job,
movie.
Kai.
Jesus Christ. So, hang on. Tom Hanks.
He was Captain Richard in.
Wait, it was called Captain Richard? I thought it was called Captain Phillips.
The movie's called Captain Phillips. Tom Hanks played Captain Richard Phillips, the man with two first names.
Okay. Don't scare me. I now have to look. To see what his
Never heard of this movie,
filmography
by
is.
the way.
No, cuz it's bad. Cuz it's like it's a B film. It's not good. Oh my God. We'll come back to this. Somebody we can move on.
Okay.
The film emerged as a critical and commercial success, receiving positive reviews from critics and grossing 4 times their budget. And Harune thinks it's bad.
What are we talking about?
Captain Phillips?
No. What is wrong with you? What?
Didn't you say Captain Phillips was bad?
No.
Wait, what are you on about?
There was a movie that he was in when he was young, like a kid, and it was about Dungeons. You're an idiot. We're moving on. No, don't talk to me.
Listen,
no.
Okay, you took way too many tangents and I got lost halfway through.
Pay attention. I'm so upset at you.
Okay,
Oh
so
my goodness.
you hate Tom Hanks? Go on.
No, we're moving on. Next topic.
Moving on. Next topic. Kai.
Well,
Yes.
as we discussed at the beginning of the episode, I am in the process of moving.
Oh, where are you moving to?
Moving about 20 minutes away from where I'm currently living, just to my own place. But for the first time in years, I actually dug everything out of my bookshelf to pack into little boxes, and I've uncovered things that I haven't seen in many a moons.
Mm-hmm.
My grade school and high school possessions. Old sketchbooks. I want to get into the sketchbooks, but I feel like that's just going to be first-hand embarrassment way too strong for myself. So I'm going to go for the other one. Have you ever purchased something or really wanted something when you were younger? You went the extra mile to acquire it, and then you just never used it. And then you just kind of set it aside and forgot about it.
Yes.
Because we've all recently gone through a move. Recently is, by perspective. But I imagine we've all probably uncovered some old knickknacks here and there that we're like, I bought this. Oh. And I just wanted to hear about everyone's purchases, because I've uncovered some things that I completely forgot I owned until I found them.
Okay, well, before we get to that, I found the name of the movie. It is indeed Tom Hanks. It's called Mazes and Monsters. Obviously of no relation to Dungeons and Dragons, but
Mazes and
Monsters. And if you want to watch just a silly film that's related to the Dungeons and Dragons panic.
Oh my goodness.
It's this.
Wow.
Look at that cover
Oh
image.
my god, it's baby Tom Hanks.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, look.
This is the weed, like not weed, but this is just like the most
he is so young. He is so young in this.
He is
A fantasy game turns deadly.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's just like this kid played by Tom Hanks just like cannot separate fantasy from reality, like away from playing mazes and monsters. It's just not good. It's just not good.
Wow.
Oh my god. So anyway, I'm sorry. I knew it had to have been Tom Hanks. I knew I didn't misremember that. I'm glad I found it. Okay, now we can answer Kai's question.
Okay.
Okay, because what I found was way back when I was in grade school, I want to say. Probably like 3rd or 4th grade. That was when I first discovered this thing called anime. When I accidentally caught an episode of Inuyasha airing on TV.
Hey.
And so, about once every 3 or 4 months, a company called Scholastics would run a book fair at my school, where they would like bring in a whole catalog of like books for children and like little scientific toys like magnets and this and that. And if you asked your parents, they might give you a little bit of pocket money to spend at the book fair.
Or you could order it ahead of time.
Or you could order it ahead of time and pick it up. That is correct. And my parents always thought it was a waste of money. If I didn't.
Mine too. Or at least Mama Renee.
The only they would consent if it was like an actual novel. Like I think I picked up like the first 2 Harry Potter novels through Scholastics like that.
Oh, for real?
Like that. I think so. I don't quite remember now.
Oh, sheesh.
But if I went for anything else, like a comic book or like a graphic novel, it's a waste of time. So you must be able to imagine how difficult it was for me to convince them to let me purchase How to Draw Manga by Katie Coop.
Oh, wow.
And,
those books.
I don't know if you guys will recognize it, but where I grew up, this was a very recognizable...
I feel like I'm gonna... Oh my god!
It's
not good, Chad.
It's not
Dear
good.
listener, this is not good.
That picture is on so many of the like these books ruined drawing manga in America like YouTube videos, and they always have like this one on there.
It's always this one, and it's always this one. I have the first one. I have the blue Katie Coop one, and I have a Chris Hart book.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
The Chris Hart one came with colored pencils, just like glued to the cover of the book.
Oh goodness.
I never opened the book. I literally like took it apart last night when I uncovered it and like pulled out the colored pencils because that's the best part of the book.
Wait, but if you worked so hard to convince your parents to let you buy this.
Oh no, I flipped through it once and that was it.
You didn't find it helpful?
I never took the pencil crayons. I never like used it. I never learned from it. I literally flipped through it once and then put it in the bookshelf and then forgot about it for like 10 years.
But why? You wanted it so badly.
Because it wasn't good.
You couldn't tell from the cover that it wasn't gonna be good?
Listen, I was attracted to the tagline, How to Draw Manga.
And you went, surely this advice is better than what's on the cover.
This surely everything else in here will be mystical and magical and great, and then in the meanwhile you're just like, oh god, why does it suck?
Oh my god.
I still have the book.
I think it's really crazy that like, because that is kind of like a constant in the people that were in North America that learned how to draw manga style stuff, like before their family let them have access to the internet. And it just blows my mind that there were already like Japanese books that were super great references and information and everything that they just didn't like.
They just weren't in circulation.
They didn't publish it. So it's just like, why?
Yeah. Why not? Why is this your preference?
Was this the one? Why was this the one that got like the big
it was
publishing?
In English.
Yeah, well, and it didn't require translation, so it was probably pretty cheap for Scholastic to put it together. And then
they weren't ashamed. They didn't look at this and go, "Oh, we can't put this on the market."
Right?
Oh my god! Oh no! It's not good. It's not good.
Yep, it's not good, but it's still here.
Oh my god. I wonder how many kids were just like, I too shall learn to draw Japanese
I can draw the
style.
mangoes.
Yeah, exactly. The mangas.
I mean, that being said,
Yeah.
I feel like I will give like credit where credit's due for Katie Coop, the one that did the blue book cover.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like this was very, very early on in her career.
Oh,
as
of course.
an
I'm
artist
sure
or whatever.
she's incredibly good now.
I mean, she redrew that same book cover last year.
Oh, like on a YouTube video?
No, on her Twitter. I've got the tweet right here.
Oh, I want to see that.
I will find it for you.
Yes,
Uno
please.
momento.
Yeah, I mean, not to like shame anyone in their early art, journey, right?
Right.
We always got to start somewhere, and like in terms of a drawing in general, it's not bad, but it's just
Right.
not publisher worthy. Like, I'm shocked that they can slap early stage art into a book and go, this is how you do it. Like, you don't do that unless this
Right?
person is already a master and this person is still on their art journey. Like, that you can't.
Right.
That'd be like if a kid who was still taking piano lessons wanted to teach piano. It's like, you don't even know.
Yeah.
You are still working on it. Like, you can't
Yup.
you can't expect. I just sorry.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
go on.
I will say, her art is vastly improved, but
Oh,
it's
I'm sure.
a lot more stylized now. It's definitely manga inspired, but it's like, it's very. I don't know if I could say this,
Oh,
but
it's
very
cute.
it's very Tumblr-y.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
I love that. Look at that. He looks like. Oh
Like,
my god! You know what he looks like?
It's vastly improved, but it's definitely not the same as the style she set out to at the beginning of her book.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I think stylized art is art. I mean, personally, I love
Mhm.
when I can see someone's style
Mhm.
in their art. Plus, this guy looks like Jim Hawkins. So,
Treasure Planet.
heck
Oh my god.
yes.
Do you know how old the Katie Coop, the author of this, do you know how old they were when the first book came out?
Please tell me 14.
I'm going to take a guess.
How old?
I'm gonna guess. She was probably in her teens.
14.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
I would
How
say.
old?
I would
to get
say.
published, to get a published book on how
Okay.
to draw. How old do you
I
think
was
they
gonna
were?
say 18 was believable, but the way you're acting disbelief, I'm gonna say she was 14.
No, she was 16.
Oh, okay. I was right in the middle. Okay.
The red cover one, how old
Mhm.
do you think she was?
The red cover one, 21.
18.
That's.
So
I
she
mean,
got-
you can tell there's improvement though from the blue to the red. I
There
could
is
take that as a
improvement,
2-year improvement.
The fact that this person, so Katie Coop, has gotten a lot of flack
Mm-hmm.
for drawing this book as like how to draw manga, right?
Mm-hmm.
So much flack. Like almost every video
Mhm.
I've seen that talks about like terrible examples of how to learn to draw manga, this book is almost always in it.
And it's poor her because she was only 16. Like,
She was 16,
yeah.
18, just a kid, and getting all of these, like, thank goodness Twitter wasn't around when this
Oh, I
person
know.
started.
Poor. Yeah, no, I'm happy this happened when it happened because any later and would have been
Right?
much
Oh yeah,
harder to
Scholastic
get
published
over.
16-year-old Katie. Oh my goodness.
Well,
Can you imagine if it would have been like during TikTok time?
oh,
I
no.
just can't. I cannot.
But you know what? I'm happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
Happy for her now. I love stylized art. I love that redraw. Super cute.
Mhm.
Happy for her.
I'm wondering about
Mhm.
that other artist now. What was the name of that other artist for that other book? Was it Chris something?
You said Chris. I almost said Chris Brown. It's not Chris Brown.
I don't know, but yeah, I've uncovered that there's just an absurd amount of things I worked really hard to acquire, only to set it aside and never look at it again.
I think for me, because I grew up and I started working in middle school so that I could buy myself manga, but we didn't have a dedicated like bookstore anywhere in my town. There was only the used book place. So I would go to the used bookstore and I would just buy like whatever volumes of manga that they had. And then there was a comic book store as well, and I would buy manga there too. And like there was a nice family run comic book shop. So I would just be like, hey, can you order this? And they would order that manga, right?
Yeah.
Because I had cash. I didn't have credit card, so I couldn't buy stuff online.
Right.
Fair. I didn't get a credit card till university, so yeah.
Yeah. And my parents would if the time period for like paying off the credit card and then me wanting to buy stuff online would have impacted our family available funds for food, so couldn't order stuff even through that, right?
Right.
And so I would get stuff there, but pretty much what that wound up translating into was any of my friends that if they were getting rid of their stuff, I would go and take it.
Yes.
So
thank you.
I have a whole bunch of wall scrolls for stuff that I didn't even watch.
Vampire Night.
For real?
I think I have one of those. I think I have one of those.
Vampire Night.
But like there's I have all these, and I've held on to them. Like with the move, I was like, I can't get rid of these.
I can't part with them.
So I just that's one of the things that's just taking up space in the back now.
Oh man, I uncovered my old like manga collection too, because like I bought novels through Scholastics way back when. But then, like, now that I'm older, like, I'm buying manga properly, and I've got, like, more complete sets and stuff. But I uncovered from the back of the shelf the manga I owned as a kid, and it's a disgusting collection. It would make any manga collector, like, cringe.
Tell us.
I have volume 1 of Shaman King.
That's not cringe at all.
I have volume 1 of Rave Master, and that's it.
Also not cringe.
I have volume 16 of Inuyasha, and that's it.
Lol.
I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't know when. I literally walked into a bookstore, just picked up the first Inuyasha book I saw and bought it, and then walked out. It's like volume 16. I have no other volume of Inuyasha.
Oh goodness.
Can I?
And
Can
for Ranma 1/2, which we've all talked about before, I have volumes 1, 4, 12,
That's right.
and then 31 through 36. It's just such a... I treated them like Archie comics. There's like, to me, there was no continuity. It was literally just comic book, I'll buy it. Comic book, I'll buy it.
I mean, but I get that, because I think that was my experience with manga as well.
New character that's like they talk as if it's super familiar. I have no idea.
Yeah, you just assume, you're just like, all right, they're part of the team now. Welcome.
Listen, I have the volume where Ryoga was introduced, so I know who he is. But
good.
Moose just kind of showed up out of nowhere.
Oh my
I just
God,
accepted
Moose.
the fact that Moose was a character.
So I think these 3 volumes that I have here, in no succession, were all from the same cousin of mine from Taiwan. So it's not like I'd be able to like get my hands on these. I have volume 14 of Rurouni Kenshin. I have volume 5 of Kochikame? And then I have volume 11 of One Punch Man. I'm like, what do we do with these? Like, hang on, I don't even know. Are they in Japanese even? Or is this in English? No, this is in English.
Oh my goodness.
Why is this Rurouni Kenshin is in English? Okay, well that's cool.
Like,
I don't remember how
it's like, I don't want to throw these out, but I also don't want to invest the money into completing this collection if I'm missing like 29 volumes.
Oh, this Kochikame is Japanese, and this volume 11 of One Punch Man is also in Japanese. But you know what? It's got a Metal Bat on the cover, and I love Metal Bat. So, this is the I see. This is during the tournament. There's always a tournament.
Yep, always a tournament arc.
Mhm.
Yes. This one was good. I like this one a lot. I love Metal Bad. But anyway, yeah. So I just have, yeah, you're right. That was sort of your experience, right? You saw one that was available. You thought it looked cool. You're like, I guess I'll purchase this, and whatever happens. And you just kind of settle for that.
Yeah.
You're just like, whatever.
Exactly.
This is all I'm
Like
getting
the
from
series I have now are like more complete. Like I've got Kekai Sensen, Blood Blockade Battlefront. Like I've got the complete set for that.
Yeah.
I have Rising of the Shield Hero. I've got the novels for it.
Oh, that's interesting.
I liked it better when I was younger, and by that I mean like early 20s.
It started off like good, and then it was
started
just like
off okay. And then it became like, I don't know, like a whole volume of him just cooking on his island, and I'm like, and then he lost his focus. Like he lost his focus of revenge,
and it was
I'm
just weird. It started off cool, but like
I liked it better when he was angry and jaded.
Yeah.
Me too. Which is unfortunate.
And speaking of D&D, I really like Goblin Slayer. I know it's got like a controversial opinions on its anime, but
I recall you talking about
that. Do you know why it had the controversial opinion?
Because they really ramped up certain aspects in the first episode. That was only a passing mention in the novels.
Kai.
Yes.
Prior to the first episode of Goblin Slayer,
yes,
Crunchyroll did not have a mature content warning.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. The first episode was pretty.
That was where that came from. That's why there was so much outrage, because a whole bunch of people in all of the trailers, it had no sign that there was going to be something that visceral,
graphic,
in the first episode. And then,
because I mean, in the novels, they don't linger on it. It's like kind of just spoken matter of factly. It's like as if it was just the reality. Oh yeah, and bad things happen, but they don't like. They don't go into detail. No, I mean, like, I don't know. You don't get it. Like,
no, you explained it to me. I know exactly what happens.
We're talking about some pretty bad things.
No,
but it's
you
kind of just
sat
like,
me down and you talked me through the whole thing, so I know exactly what happened.
Yeah, but so I think I'm missing like the last 2 volumes that are currently out for Goblin Slayer because I haven't been to the bookstore in like a year. But there's a bookstore near my new condo. I'm gonna have to go check it out next week.
Ooh, fun!
But I think it's so long that they like might not have it in circulation anymore. I might have to order it online. But anyways, yeah.
Okay.
I've just found all these really old purchases I have that I bought it for the sake of collecting and then just never touched again.
That's a shame. But I understand. I get it. I'm like looking around and I'm wondering if there's anything that I like desperately tried to purchase or like really begged for, and then once I got it, didn't really do anything with.
Like you're super embarrassed of having bought it now?
Not really. It's kind of a shame, but I have like this box still in my old bedroom at Mama and Papa Renee's place. That's full of cool stuff that my parents got on their last trip to Taiwan. Like, when they were, like, because oftentimes whenever we've been able to go back, like the last time I went solo, with like another family member. I think the time prior, the last several times prior has only been with Mama Harune. Like, I think there's only once in my life where I went to Taiwan and like my whole family was there, like both my parents and everything. I think that's when I was 6 years old, I think. So, the last trip where both my parents were able to go, they came back with like a bunch of stationery stuff, a bunch of cute pens for me to hand out to my students. I had this like cute no-face pencil case, and just like a bunch of other stuff in there that like in theory sounds great, but I have actually completely forgotten about them. Like, they're totally just like lost to time. They're in this box, so they look brand new. But when I was like moving out and I was going through all my stuff, I'm like, oh my God, like what can I do with all of this stuff? Like, my parents spent money on this, but like I don't need these things. Like, what should I do? So I don't know. And that no-face pencil case, I'd totally use it, but there's so much like fabric and like stuffing to make it puffy and squishy that I actually can't fit more than like 3 pencils in there, which is just a major setback in design. Like, that's a huge, I don't know where down the line of production they were like, no, this is a good idea. But yeah, so I don't know if it's anything that I personally have purchased, that I either am super embarrassed to own or like regret having or just never used, but I've got a lot of stuff that have been purchased for me that maybe because they asked if I wanted it, I said yes, but I never really had a need for it. So yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of bad, to be honest. But that's, yeah.
Have to learn to regret your purchases somewhere.
Yeah, like I said, I think what's worse is that they weren't my purchases. Like, if I had bought it with my own money, then I probably, number one, would have used it more, number two, wouldn't have felt so bad. But because they were all, like, gifts, I'm like, well, I have no use for this. Like, I don't know what to do. So I might have to, like, go through and either donate them or give them away to younger family members. But they're all growing up now, so I'm not really sure to give it to. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm embarrassed about because that makes for a better story. But, I don't know if there's anything I'm embarrassed about. I have this, it's not really embarrassing, nor is it a purchase, but, like, in high school, I think it was high school, if not, then early college, but I kind of doubt it because this friend went out of state for college, so it must have been high school. I found a ginormous stick in my friend's backyard, and it was the perfect shape for a wizard staff. So I asked my dad to buy some white spray paint. I spray painted it white, and it still sits in my closet, and I really want it to be like Gandalf the White staff. So I'm still waiting for the day where I can craft such a beautiful thing, but I just have a spray painted white stick in my closet.
Was this before or after Tusken Raider Rune?
I don't know. I think it must have been before. But Tusken Raider is Star Wars. But
when you just stood in the yard with the rake raised above your head going,
yeah. And then I turned to look and there was someone taking a walk like across my sidewalk, and I was like, oh god, I'm sorry. It wasn't me. And then I ran to the garage and I hid. And I just like crouched on the floor and I cried into my knees until they left. I think that was before. I think Tusken Raider was after. But yeah. No. That was neither. Oh no, I do have one thing. I'm not embarrassed by owning it, but I'm embarrassed by what I did to get it. I have a Lord of the Rings book box set. So it's The Hobbit, Fellowship, Two Towers, and then Return of the King. And I found this box set at the time local library on auction. And it was just like, I think people brought their either brand new or lightly used things, and then like to make it fun, they had like an auction thing, and I was like, oh, I need to have it because it was Lord of the Rings. Of course I was supposed to own it. So I think
of course I was supposed to.
I was ordained by God himself to have this box set. But yeah, so I bartered, and I think it was me and I think a couple of other people really wanted it. I can't remember how much I ended up paying for it, but I was like, any price is worth it. So I just have this box set. But I think I read The Hobbit. I read The Fellowship, and then I always get stuck right before the Battle of Helm's Deep. In the Two Towers. And I'm like, dang it. Actually, yeah. It's either right before the Battle of Helm's Deep or after when they go into Shelob's cave. Yeah. But that's still within the Two Towers. That was like a film decision to like put that in Return of the King. Yeah. Even though it was still part of Two Towers. But yeah, I always get stuck there and I never get past it. So that's still there. I think my bookmark's still in there. But I mean, I'm not embarrassed by owning it, but I'm like mildly embarrassed that I like, auctioned for this thing, but also not embarrassed. It's a little bit of both. I don't know. I'm shy to talk about it, but I also am like, I'm a real Lord of the Rings fan. I don't know. Yeah.
I remember getting again from Scholastics. Not even the Lord of the Ring books. I remember they once sold Lord of the Ring like bookmarks for like I think $4 because it was like a paper bookmark with a replica of the One Ring attached to it.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I bought it, and the ring was very clearly too small for like a normal person's fingers, let alone my fingers.
Okay.
But I just remember being super excited, like, oh my god, it's the ring, and then I couldn't put it on, and I was suddenly not excited for it.
Oh no. I know, like, at the back of like when you used to buy DVDs, sometimes they would also include advertisements for like merch inside the like disc covers.
I'm going to confess something here.
Please do.
Having grown up in an Asian family, I'm going to let you in on a secret.
You've never bought a single DVD.
I've never bought a single legal DVD.
Oh.
Listen. Back when I was growing up in the like early 2000s, a lot of Asian DVD stores are the type where it's clearly somebody in a theater with a camcorder.
Oh no, but that's the worst viewing
that's
experience.
amazing.
Yeah, but you get 6 movies for like $5.
But it's not even good.
Listen, that's just the way I think I own a single proper DVD,
Oh.
and I never watched it.
Oh my god. I'm sorry.
The only actual DVD I own, because I
Okay.
stopped buying DVDs, was
Uh-huh.
for Transformers: Dark Side of the Moon.
Why?
Because
Why?
I was in college and we were really bored one night, and we thought, oh, we should do something. So we went to HMV, just grabbed whatever, I bought it, and then we
What?
decided, never mind, we're not going to watch it. So I have an unopened DVD of
Oh my
Transformers: Dark Side
God.
of the Moon, and that's the only legit DVD I
Just
own.
sell that on eBay. Don't even keep it.
What's that worth?
I don't know. $10?
I'd imagine the postage of sending it out is worth more than that movie.
Well, at least then have someone local come and pick it up. Like you just can't own it. Just get rid of it. You'll be getting some money at least.
In my bookshelf, I found that, and then all my like pirated Naruto DVDs.
Oh my god.
Clearly, like it's like in a generic shell case. The cover's like printed with like a color printer. It's fading. It's like
Oh my god.
not good.
I love that
But-
it's Naruto though.
That's what I grew up on. It's like the first 3 Naruto movies, I think. The one where it's like I don't know. It's like
The Snow
The Land of the Snow.
Princess,
Yeah, that one.
And then I've watched almost every Naruto movie. I've watched almost everything Naruto related. Yes.
Also, I really tried not to react out loud when I found this, but I was googling that how to draw manga book. I'm sorry for
Mhm.
interrupting.
No.
Yeah.
But
please.
this has to be shared.
Yes.
Apparently there was another book put out that was like
Yes.
one of those early 2000s how to draw manga books by somebody
Yes.
named Ken Penders,
Yes.
who was a comic book writer for the Archie comics,
Oh, cool.
specifically their Sonic the Hedgehog line.
Oh, what?
And this was the how to draw manga book
I'm
he
waiting.
put out.
I'm
an
waiting
actual
with bated
page.
breath. Oh my god! What is this? This can't be real.
No, this is an actual page from
What?
the book they put out, How to Draw Manga.
Is this satirical? This looks
No.
terrifying. She looks like she's melting. Only at the
No.
eyes.
Yeah, I remember seeing that
What?
one. I saw this one in person. Like when I went to a bookstore, like they had that book.
Oh my god! I'm terrified. This isn't funny at all. This is...
That very like
What?
that very tiny 3/4 figure next to profile looks better than anything else on the page.
Wha-
And I'm
That looks like-
mystified how that happened.
This looks like a JoJo pose. That is a JoJo pose. Name,
Why-
Ariel, age 16, skill, magic.
Why does her
Right?
face do that?
Why are her eyes melting? This is
I never
terrifying.
thought I'd describe a drawing like this, but it looks like bad claymation.
I'm scared. This isn't right. What? Although I will admit that there was a point in time where I saw a lot of comic books, sort of Asian inspired, like manga inspired, but still fairly Western art with this sort of teardrop shaped eyeballs. I went through a phase where I drew like that. I'm not
eyebrow
proud.
is touching her like cheekbone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Her eyebrow? You mean her bottom lash line?
No, I mean, do you see how far the eyebrow droops?
Yes. But,
Oh my gosh. I don't.
I can't.
Like, how does
This
that-
is scary. This is scary. This isn't right. I don't want to look at it anymore.
Why
I feel
is she
kind of
looking
sick.
in opposite directions though?
Oh no! Stop!
Some people are. What's the opposite of cross-eye?
I don't know.
Wall-eyed.
Wall-eyed. Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like it.
She's
I
a
don't like
half
it.
human, half sprite.
She's a half human, half fish. This is not.
Yeah, right.
This
I
isn't
like how
good.
they committed. If you look at like the top left one, I like how they committed to drawing the full eye first before like covering the part where the light reflects, because that's how light works.
Right.
Also, why does her skin look so shiny?
Stop! I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about it anymore. We're ending this podcast. This episode is over.
Her chin looks so oily.
Stop!
She had tempura and was just like
Mm.
on her face.
Oh,
Skincare.
got it on her forehead.
Oh my god, no! I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. Everything. It's like the world is melting.
Yes.
It just looks like I'm staring at I'm staring at art and she's melting.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
The
Actually-
bottom right drawing would make a pretty goldfish.
Stop it. Stop. Stop.
Stop hurrying.
I mean, you're right, but stop.
Also,
There's
she has
nothing-
blue hair. She has blue hair in one of them. For some
I know.
reason.
I was just looking at that. I was like, we're not going to talk about her changing hair color, but I guess we are. This isn't good. And do you see in the expressions page, like the text is just for some reason in circular, like it's just a circle of words. Why did they do that? I can't. There's everything is wrong. Everything is wrong. It's like looking into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Which is sad, because like if you look at the far bottom left, when he does just a head shape, like that looks like it could be something fine, and then they start adding details to it, and then it's very not fine.
This is I can't.
Can you please link these images to the fold on the YouTube video so people can react with us? 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel really bad for anyone that's just hearing us freak out without knowing what we're freaking
Yeah, I
out.
mean, I try my best to describe this, but it just, if you were just staring at what you would think is old style, an American trying to draw Asian style art, and then it started to melt. That is what this looks like.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I know what I'm doing for the thumbnail for this episode.
Oh no. It's gonna be good though. It'll get a lot of attention.
Yeah. One of us will look like the how to draw manga.
One of us is getting Ken Bender's treatment, one of us is getting Katie Cooped,
Yeah.
and I'll need to find a third how to draw manga.
Katie Cooped like it's a verb. She's getting Katie Cooped. I can't. Okay, we have to leave. We have to go now.
Oh, well,
I
it's
can't.
time.
I can't live in this reality anymore.
It has completely ruined our motivation to continue speaking today.
This has been a wild episode. This has
Oh
gone in
my
directions
God.
I have not. I would have never predicted, and I don't know how to feel. I feel ill.
I don't know how to feel. Wait, no, I do know.
I feel a little sick. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this roller coaster ride of an episode. This has just been I can't do it. This is season 3, episode 5, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I know we're recording this on Sunday, so our week technically starts tomorrow. But actually, unlike our previous episodes where we've tried to sort of come together every other week, just due to, like Kai mentioned at the beginning of the episode, just due to how scheduling has worked out, we're probably going to reconvene next week.
Yeah.
And try and get this episode out ASAP.
Yeah.
But that's up to Uya's schedule as well. So stay tuned for a couple of episodes that are, you know, in terms of topics, will be pretty close in timeline.
Yeah.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Oh my God, Kai. All right. I think I almost puked in my mouth. All right, so you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, whether it is morning, noon, or night, and I will see you guys next week.
Yo.
Yeah. So それでは皆さん、またね。バイバイ。
Bye bye.